Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Two whole waters. I have been blessed. Alright, dog, come here. Oh my god, I'm so quiet. There's no running sound.
Shit.
Alright, what do we got in the crafting? Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Yeah, that works. Alright. Hey, Agent. Boo. How's it going? Hey, Michael. Alright. So apparently, I haven't played since they hotfixed it on Wednesday, so I'm curious what the whole HK thing means. I'm guessing it's just supposed to tell you better, like, what's pissing off people. I think the best way to go about that is just we're gonna go over to Mesa and see if picking up pictures will tell us that picking up pictures pissed them off. Just play the game, basically, Agent, I guess. There's not really, I don't think much you can do outside of just, like, getting lucky. Like, maybe rare units drop them more likely? I don't know. I haven't really, like, sat down and tried. I don't really have a necessary, like, reason to, like, grind them out, so I never really tried. I don't have any shotgun ammo. Let me fix that. Alright, we have our ammo, we have our meds. We don't need to do a lot of Mesa here. I'm just trying to figure out to see if will, like, their new HK system tell us if, like, picking up pictures is what pissed them off. And if we don't get them from pictures too, I guess we can try killing things and seeing which has, like, you killed too many Europans. I have some HKs.
Don't miss. Make every shot count.
Alright, around we go. Looking for pictures. I'm pretty sure you don't need the quest for these pictures. I think they just spawn randomly on this map. Alright, good there. Hey, Alex. I would guess Europa? I have no idea. Really? No containers up here? That's unlucky. I think that's not like, yeah, it's ammunition, we don't need that. I don't think we're to the point yet where they're gonna break out HK types by faction. Just because they don't have enough in the pool yet. There's one. Alright, we have Uno pictures so far. We need 2 more, I think, to piss them off. Is there a container over there? There is. Alright, over we go. There's picture number 2. Hey, Duffs. Alright, so we need 1 more picture, I think, to get HKs. Unless they changed it. Hello. Hey, Red.
Think every shot counts.
Does that still work? I thought they fixed that. I think they fixed that like a while ago. Oh, no, it did not. Okay, so it's just like, okay, it's telling you that you picked up something that's tagged. Why are these pictures tagged? Alright, so like that's the tooltip, right? Is that like it's telling you that no, you not what item, but that an item you picked up is tagged. I mean, that's not a good enough reason, Agent. Oh, that's fun. I picked up 3 pictures. And look what's coming after me. This feels so proportional. So very proportional. I feel like at this point, if you're sending a medium mech to hunt me down, why not just like drop a nuke on me? Like, it would probably be quicker.
As long as I'm the last one standing.
I mean, I already have HKs, right? So why not turn it off? What are they gonna do, send more HKs? Watch it be 2 HKs now. I mean, in a really weird, twisted way, it actually is like I have a guardian that's constantly aware of me and wants to kill me. But they want to be the one to kill me. So they will murder things around me to protect me so they can kill me themselves. Hey, you're not allowed to do that. Look at the little guy. He's a little nice guy. He's helping me out. Oh my god, he fired his main gun. They never do that. It is so thoroughly rare to see them fire their main gun. You know, I'm gonna pick up more pictures. Nope, water map instead.
Trying to carefully extract.
I'm not even sure if it's HKs are blind. It's just that like for some reason they can't bring their main gun up there half the time. Like you have to be in like you have to be low and like a certain like actual like degree percentage wise, like radian, like that's what the fuck you want to call it. You basically have to be perfectly lined up for them to use their main gun. And it almost never happens. Hello. No, hey, stop that. Yeah, for real. Is that an Orgamech? Looks like an Orgamech. Sounds like an Orgamech. He's hiding, look at him. He's a little ninja. Hey, pal. Listen, do you want a picture? I got pictures for days. He's just walking toward me menacingly. Can I bring you to the medium mech? Hold on. This is gonna get me killed, by the way, but whatever. Oh, come on! Oh, I fucking hate AoE radiuses like that so much. It's so detached. It did, but at the same time, like they've added like this melee stomp AoE radius to like every unkillable unit, and it just like it's a very large kill box. Yeah, I'm gonna stop 20 feet away from you, and now you're dead. All right, whatever. I was gonna go have the Orga mech and the medium mech fight and see if they could kill each other, but I guess it's not on the cards right now. No, it seems to be a reoccurring theme with a lot of these unkillables right now, is they have insanely large kill boxes for their melee stomps. I've heard too that they don't care about the Z chords either, so like height-wise they don't give a shit. But I haven't actually seen that firsthand. I think they fixed it going through. I think there was a period of time where it went through walls dusty. Like I've definitely been killed by it through walls before. But I think they fixed that. There was a day on a mech trench where the shield officer got me through a door. Alright, probably shit on mids right now. Yeah, not great. Whatever, we'll make do. We'll just bring lots of smalls. Alright. It still goes through walls? Okay. I wonder how much of that is like, I'm curious if units can clip through walls sometimes, so I wonder if it's going through the wall, rather the unit is clipping and that's causing it to go through the wall, right? Because it's spawning on the other side. Alright, we'll kill a psycho. Oh boy, only 2 water. What's savings? That could be a factor too. There are, I mean, like, it wouldn't make sense like considering those walls would be solid, but like there are some walls that are only like vanity walls. Like they actually don't have like collision. There's usually collision behind them, but it's not always the case, especially on the older maps. There's quite a few like there's certain walls in the game that when you shoot them they don't respond appropriately. Like they won't get decals, they won't do sparks or like effects or stuff like that. Like, so okay, that's perfectly fine. It's usually like the lattice structures, I think, if I can find some. But there are some walls that will just eat bullets. So it's like the collision box for them is behind them and it's not actually a thing attached to the actual model. Alright, so you should be down here if I recall correctly. I need you to come back. Hey, not you! I hate drones so very much. Alright. Where's my... Maybe a different spawn today on this guy. So I'm curious, do you have to have the quest part 4 or part 5 to actually open this over here? Or is it like once you do it once, it's always open? Let me in. Let me in. We need to see if we can still, can you still come through the wall with grenades? I know apparently they said they fixed that. Or fixed something along those lines. I don't know, they did something, they said they fixed something like that in the patch. I'm not sure if they did or not. We can try later. I did not bring any grenades to try with. It's definitely not something you really want to try with one grenade. Stop running at Mach 1. Alright, we killed the Psycho Killer. I think the unkillable mechs are by design, though. Actually, like if we can't kill a shield officer, and we can't kill an Orgamech, and we can't kill lots of smaller things, it would reason to believe we shouldn't be able to kill mechs either. It would make more sense to me to have the shield officer be killable than the mech. Hey, Scooby. Well, I mean, they fixed it now, right? With the medium mech being unkillable. I mean, like in a perfect world. There, yeah, man, it's this area right here that always does it. In a perfect world, Michael, nothing would be unkillable, it would just be uneconomical to kill. Or rather, like, so lethal that, like, the amount of ammunition you would need to expend to kill something, they would kill you first, most, if not all of the time. That isn't the ideal world, though, right? So gas, in a patch or two ago, they cleared out the thumbnails because there was an issue with them, a bug with them. But that was a few patches ago. I'm perfectly fine with that, Blood. Like, I will be consistent in this. If they're willing to reduce the enemy density in the spawns and the respawn timers, I would love to see them jack up the lethality on everything. I still do think, like, while we don't need a Tarkov-esque damage system, I do think there needs to be, like, two things, right? One, like, animations for meds, and then two, like... I don't want to say, like... My mind goes to a few different areas. Also, what the hell? It's in the wall. My mind goes to a few different areas, right? And, like, I wouldn't say you should do all of these, but some of these. Where, like... You have, like, for example, your max HP being reduced over time. So say, for example, I take 100 damage. While I'm in raid, I can only heal 90% of that back. And essentially it means that you kind of have this very arcadey sort of style of, like, essentially wounding over time. Basically, the more fights you take and the more damage you take, the worse off fights you win, the weaker you are, right? And the longer you stay in raid, the weaker you get, essentially from taking damage. Now, I wouldn't say really any of the maps are big enough, and the time you need to spend in maps are long enough to, like, make that probably a good enough system. The only problem is my other idea is just, like, kind of like if you take a certain amount of damage in a short period, you get, like, a negative effect, an injury. that maybe you can clear off, but maybe it's time consuming. Kind of like the, you know, wounds in Tarkov, right? Like broken bones and shit. And the problem there is that just going a little bit too tedious. But I mean, like the tedium in Tarkov actually rewards you for like not taking damage in fights, though. It does always sketch like when you're trying to like clear a broken bone or a blacked out limb in Tarkov, and like you're in a corner, you like, you know, you hide for a bit. It doesn't, it can be different types of wounds, Michael, depending on maybe where you get hit, if they want to do that level of granularity, or it can just be random, right? Where it's just a list of different effects dependent on like maybe the damage source, or, you know, how fast you got damage or something like that, or just a generic, you know, table of RNG of different defects or debuffs for like taking too much damage in a short period. Essentially what this is trying to evoke, right, is this like, it helps reinforcing there's a beauty in Tarkov, right, where like is like you can just play it nonchalantly and like a Chad, and if you die, it's like an arcade, right? You just, you know, get your kit back and go again. But for people who actually value survival in Tarkov, like there's a beauty in the danger of fights that even if you win, you might not come out ahead. Like the Pyrrhic victory, right? Where, say for example, you win this 1v1, you win this fight, like, but you win this, like, you know, huge squad battle per se, but like people heard you fighting and you're wounded and your limbs are blacked out, and like maybe you don't have time to heal, and you hear the people coming in. Like, it's like, just because you won this fight, the fight wasn't good for taking in the first place, right? Because of the danger of subsequent, like, you know, the fact that you're wounded, you need to heal, you know, you're being pushed, you've expended lots of resources winning that fight in the first place. So sometimes it might be better to just avoid that fight in the first place, let it pass, so on and so forth. And like, that's the big thing with the wild too, right? Like, that's just like animal nature too, right? Like, animals do not want to fight. Like, there's a reason, for example, when like you are, like, say, like being threatened by a bear or a cougar out in the wild, like sometimes the best thing to do is not to like run away, it's just to like slowly back away and make yourself as big as possible, right? Because animals know this too, you know. They might kill you, but if they get hurt in the process, that's going to kill them. It's literally like a rule of nature, right? Like, some fights aren't worth taking.
Everyone for themselves.
Codes like the IFFs, Boo Boo, or? That's the point though, like Blood, right? Is like, that's the balancing act, is making a system where it kind of introduces that kind of like feeling, right? Because that's like, I would think, a core tenet of anti-shooters, right? Is like reinforcing that behavior of, even if you can use your gun, it might not be worthwhile for you to do because of the implications, the consequences of doing it, right? And so the balancing act becomes of like making a system that kind of promotes that, but isn't too aggressive or overbearing, right? Something that's arcadey but still punishing. Oh, codexes? Just selling, really. The one for Kolketa, you know, Mr. Cold Cuts, is the only way to summon him, so, like, if you ever want to see Cold Cuts, that's the way to get him to spawn. But other than that, it's just selling, yeah. I've always, like, thought about getting to Barotrauma, but I never, like, just got into it. It's one of those games with, like, a pretty decent learning curve. I was like, like, it looks really cool, but do I really want to sit down and learn this? And like, it's definitely one of those things, right, where it's like, there's definitely multiple paths to the same solution, or that, like, multiple paths to the same effect, rather. I mean, the game is literally incomplete. That you are correct. It is early access, and it is incomplete for sure. Is that at me? I heard a grenade launcher, I don't like it. Okay, it wasn't at me exactly. I mean, I wouldn't even say, like, yeah, endgame's part of it for sure. I would just more say, personally, if I was on, like, me, I would focus on progression slash, like, cyclical content before necessarily honing in on endgame. Like, don't get me wrong, endgame's important, but like that feeling of progress is really important too. Well, I mean, like, there's not. I would make the argument, Zero, that there just isn't any progress. Like, you have the inert upgrades and that's really about it, but like, once you're familiar with the loop, you can get, like, you can basically get to like the current end game in like 4 to 5 hours. But like, really, just after you get your first upgraded rig, like, the game's broken open. Yeah, and like, I'm assuming like 20 hours when you were a newer player, right? If you ever do a reset, like, it gets really easy, right? Because like that initial difficulty hump is gone of just like learning things and how the AI works and so on and so forth. Alright, actually use big whip meds now. Where are we going to? Nighttime stairway, nighttime stairway. We're gonna get nighttime stairway. Yeah, like for sure. Like right now, most of it's just figuring out the quirks of the game. There's like, yeah, like the game is early access. There's no progression yet really at all. There's like light amounts of progression if you consider like collecting guns and getting better rigs and upgrading your innards to be progression, but like none of them really serve any really higher goal right now. So they're there to be money sinks and time sinks, but they're not really in pursuit of any goal. Like one of like the bigger aspects of, for example, I'm not gonna say like Tarkov's hideout system is the best thing that ever fucking came to be, but like they do a good job of using their hideout system to help facilitate like the completion of quests is the biggest one, right? They kind of let you circumnavigate doing quests you don't like So say, for example, like, some of the later quests in Tarkov require you to go to, like, hot areas and get, like, somewhat rare loot, right? And if you really do not like doing that, you can just take your time in the hideout and craft that quest item. So in a way, it provides this alternate like avenue of progression. We just... What? Alright, well, alright. Got shot at, but they're gone. Mushi, meaningful meaningful progression to me is using, and like it's multifaceted, right? So like it's not just progression, but like it's every system working together in this concept of like, you know, acquiring, you know, gear, items, weapons, so on and so forth to help you take on bigger challenges, right? And you can frame it in an overall, like, essentially you need to provide the player, I think, with some overarching goal, right? In PvP games, they have it easy because it can just be competition. So like, you want to be the better Tarkov player, you want to get to like level 50 first, you want to get the Kappa first. That is meaningful progression for lots of players who engage in PvP. For me, my always critique of Tarkov has been like, the game's name is Escape from Tarkov, and we still haven't got any really closer to escaping from Tarkov yet. What I would say is, like, they don't really have this PvE overarching goal. However, they do, like, still, like, it's still fine for players who are more focused on PvE, right? Of just, like, wanting to get new guns, complete quests, so on and so forth, right? Like, in a way, the quests being repeatable in this game kind of removes the fact of like, or removes the asset of any progression, right? Like I'm doing quest X, Y, and Z to get the better quests unlocked, to get better stuff, right? Please go away. Go away. I said go away, not keep shooting me. But the easiest cycle of progression is like, you need better gear to take on bigger challenges, to get better gear, to get better challenges, and so on and so forth, right? That's like the classic looter shooter loop, right? We good? Alright, we're good. And you can diversify yourself by like doing things on top of that, right? Like for me personally, like this might not be every player. I can't see your fucking heads, man. I feel like part of this corner is not real. Yeah, part of this corner is not real. They're shooting me through that, understood. So like I do think like that's the baseline, right, of like essentially the cycle of I need better gear to take on better challenges, so I need to go do X, Y, and Z to get better gear, and that cycle repeats ad nauseum. But there's also the whole thing too, right? Because you're like a PvE offline sort of S game, you can do other ways of pushing the players along in absence of the competition of PvP. So like, for example, the IRL water drain was kind of that, but it was done in a very poor way, I think, for their core audience, right? Like, we're not Warframe, we're not Tarkov, like, we're not some online service game, right? We're not trying to keep retention high, we're not trying to get people logging in. Like, there's not a reason to have the resource drain be IRL time-based. But I do like the core concept of like resource drain over time. It's just you need to figure out how you can contextualize time to make it fair for players, right? And so like you could just do an in-game timer of like only when you're playing the timer goes down. You could do, which I'm not a big fan of, but like it is a solution. You could do turn-based. There's probably something I'm not thinking about too, right? But like adding a resource drain into the game, right, does emphasize survival, and it also gives you like this core currency to like essentially use as an economic foundation to balance your game around, right? And push the player, right? Because you can start working in, say, that resource drain into your looter shooter loop. You know, say for example, I need to get better gun to do better things, but I also need to get better guns to, you know, get more water, or find this component to make water harvesting better or easier, right? And so like you can kind of work in sort of this pressure mechanic into the looter shooter loop to help drive players forward. And make them kind of have that pressure back, that systemic pressure. Because there's that pressure in Tarkov's always there, right? Of like, and eventually you will get bored of it and you will get tired of the pressure and you will leave. But that pressure is important to get that buy-in in the first place though, right? And so that pressure in Tarkov, right, is like, if I don't keep playing, if I don't keep grinding, if I don't like keep getting better weapons, I'm going to fall behind. And like most of the players, if not all the players, will have better gear than me, which will make fights harder. And like that's a core aspect of like the early wipe grind in Tarkov, right? Is getting ahead of other players to have better gear. I didn't do my quests yet. I can do one of them at least. Where my book at? Or my laptop at? Drill, laptop. I'm not gonna go back for the radio equipment. I feel like living. I'm like think I'm pretty low on meds. Yeah, I'm pretty low on meds. Why do you think I'm gonna buy viewers, dude? You've been doing this like. Actually, they did stop for a while, weirdly enough. Hold on, I'll tab. And come here, mob mode. Hold on. Hold on. Ban. There we go. Isn't like Twitch cracking down on fucking people buying bots too to view botting? That's bold of them. I mean, yeah, that's a very common critique, Silva. 100%. And like the way I would phrase it too, it's a lot more in the sense that, it's a lot more in the sense that all of the ways you contextualize and solve problems in the world is through gunplay. When your only ways of like interacting with the world and units and solving problems is shooting things, it kind of does like reinforce you to be that guy, right? Because it's your only really option. Like you can go the harder route and try and be stealthy, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's just easier to shoot things. I would consider myself like a low friction gamer, in the sense of I will typically choose the path of least resistance, right? So in Tarkov, that I'm gonna reference Tarkov so fucking much, I'm sorry in advance. But prefacing this, I do not think Tarkov is this amazing thing to put onto a pedestal. It's just a good comparison point. Anyway, Tarkov has, like, because, you know, taking damage in Tarkov is so punishing, right? And there's plenty of people who are willing to be aggressive, and the AI can be cracked sometimes too, right? And like, even if you win the fight versus the AI or the player, you getting shot is bad. You attracting attention to yourself is bad. And so, like, sometimes you're rewarded or you're reinforced to take the path of least resistance in Tarkov and just sneak around, not take fights, you know, not go to this hotspot area, right? Like, for example, I like dorms on customs a lot on Tarkov. I think customs is the best map ever. I haven't played the new expansion version of it, but like this iteration before they added factory to it, because I haven't played the factory version yet, I love. Customs is like one of the best maps designed of all times. I don't think it was on purpose, but just by accident. But it's so thoroughly well designed. But anyway, getting off of like switching over customs, like I'll avoid areas like dorms sometimes when I don't have quests, right? Because why take the risk of going to dorms? But if I have a marked room key or a quest I need to go there for, I'll go there. So it's like the actual design of quests and loot in that game forced me to go areas that I would actively avoid otherwise. And like, that's a big aspect, I would say, of this game currently, right? Is there's not really there's not areas to force you out of your comfort zone, and there's not anything to facilitate that either, right? Of pushing you out of your comfort zone. Like, say for example, Sumac Trench. Say for example, like if the police station on downtown was an actual place, right, that was heavily guarded, right? You might not want to go there when you're a regular player just because it's not worth the risk. But say you start picking up a few quests here and there. Say there's like a rare event in the police station, right, where there's a certain unit there that has like high risk or high worth like loot, right? That might actually drive you as a player to engage in risks that would otherwise be suicidal because of the reward. But like there's just not that in the game currently. It's part level design, it's part of the current quest. I mean, I would point to level design no matter what. What do you mean? Can you elaborate by just like, what do you mean by just division? This is a trope in a lot of different games, right? Like, this is pretty bog standard, just risk versus reward, I would think. Oh, 100%. I think I actually do really like Gunhead's design, because the inability to heal does actually add a good trade-off to him, right? It adds tension in, right? For most other characters, it's just like this weird like numbers crunch of, did you bring enough medkits for your damage you're taking? But for Gunhead, right, it is like the ticking time bomb of like, you are going to get whittled down. And like, you'll get into spots with like Gunhead, right, where you have to play slow and methodical or very careful, because you just do not have the like any more health left to play with.
Nothing to be done.
Oh, 100%. And like, that's the biggest thing too, I will say, is like, you can make, the game is very arcadey right now, that's perfectly fair. Like, it's very wishy-washy when it decides to be Arcadian and when doesn't want to be Arcadian, right? But like, I would love to play a build of the game with less enemy density, jacked up lethality, and like non, like, let's say not, you can maybe heal a little bit, but not overall.
Multiple contacts.
Like, basically nerfed healing in some capacity. Because I'm really curious how the game would feel when like enemies are more lethal versus each other. So like, you have more periods of enemies just moving about traveling as opposed to just constantly fighting. And like avoiding those patrols. I wouldn't even say hardcore mode per se, just different, like, it's not even hardcore, right? Like, hardcore implies like just artificially ramped up difficulty or like stakes, but I would say it's more just like a paradigm shift of how the game's supposed to be, right? Like, I want a slower, like more heavy punching game, right? I don't want to have like these, like, I like the idea of giant RTS battles, but like there's technical constraints, right? And so I would much rather have like enemy infantry be lethal and have less of them than the vice versa of small maps, lots of infantry where it's like the map is like a clusterfuck, and then have enemies like not be lethal, and it feels kind of weird, right? And like having more lethal enemies too, like the shorter periods where enemies are fighting each other and living, it kind of helps hide weird anomalies in the AI, I think, right? Like if the medium mechs were lethal enough that they would never survive closing in on each other, you would never have these weird instances of seeing mechs hug, which looks weird. First person, I mean, I agree. I would say, like, I really like Tarkov's healing system in Tarkov, but I would say it's a bit too, considering the context of the current game, all of those systems just thrust into this game would be too much. Now, an arcadey version of their system, yeah, 100%. But I don't think it needs to be like a carbon copy, because it would just feel a bit out of place. Oh, 100%. Like, Viz, I kind of, in a way, would, I'm not sure how they have their AI program, but like I would love to see in a way just like having enemies that have like the actual bullets hurt a lot more, but enemies aren't really all that accurate either, except for like maybe the elites. So like the occasional bullet that hits you really fucking hurts, but they're not perfect aimers, right? It makes bullets actually feel like they have impact, right? And it feels like it makes the enemies feel like they're human, or like, you know, not Terminators. Like that's an issue right now, for example, right? Where like when you do occasionally get firing squatted and like you die immediately, which is fair, right? Like you just do notice how like accurate the enemy AI is sometimes. It also removes this like cool feature too of like suppressing fire. All right, I guess I won't go down. Actually, it might be leaving.
Too many signals nearby. We should not open fire.
I mean, first person, they're doing a good job of patching the game. Like we've had monthly patches for like the last 3 or 4 months. I'm curious, like we've had lots of patches that's added content and like added polish and fixed the AI here and there. But we haven't really, I would say, had any like super major updates that like changed the core, like, or changed like a certain system or added a certain system, right? Like it's been content, polishing, and AI fixes, which is, I'm not gonna say it's like hasn't been great. They've done a great job in that regard, but like it is kind of this like it feels like since launch we've still been waiting for like the major patch, if that makes sense. Not to diminish the current patches they're doing, but like they've all feel like good patches, but not major patches. All right, let's skedaddle. I don't feel like fighting a medium mech and dying. Yeah, like I don't think this game needs to be Tarkov. I don't want this game to be Tarkov, right? Because I think Tarkov has lots of issues. And I think Tarkov is like kick the can down the road of actually like creating a game. Like they're still just they've become a live service game over time. They kind of like abandoned the mentality of like actually creating Escape from Tarkov. So yeah, like you can like learning from Tarkov is very important, but that doesn't mean you need to copy Tarkov verbatim. I mean, animations is like the easiest thing for par for sure. But like in a weird way, fruit par, like the problem I see is this, right? I mean, like, you can tune the AI. Like, I'm having trouble thinking of how they're going to program the AI to respond to you healing in combat. Like, you could just make it where they push you immediately. They can make it like where they push you some of the time, but not all the time. Like, but in a way, I would like mentally just. I would rather the AI behavior act in such a way where it's not them reacting to you healing, but the way they play makes healing in combat not advisable, right? It seemed like it's very important that you like listen to particulars here, because it sounds like I'm probably saying the same fucking thing twice and it doesn't make any sense. What I'm saying is, if it feels like the AI is responding to you healing, it feels gamey, forced, and weird, right? But if you have the AI set up where no matter what, they're acting in a certain way to make healing in combat untenable, that feels appropriate, right? Like, it's not the fact that they're responding to you healing in combat, it's that the way they carry about themselves means that you're getting pushed constantly to the point where healing in combat would be bad. Hey, Jay. Or unadvisable. And like, you can have instances too where like maybe they do respond to your healing, but it shouldn't be commonplace, I feel like. Because if it feels like if they program the AI to just push you whenever you pop a medkit, it feels weird. Or feels like it feels very gamey. In a bad way. Let me go get my magazine. Do you have 308 actually at all? I kinda do. Not really. Nah, it's still sold out. Alright, Bunko, give me your overpriced shotgun shells. I'm hesitantly pumped for it, Jay. I'm probably gonna get it day one. And see how it is. I mean, like, it does look refreshing, right? The fact that they're saying they're gonna have dedicated servers, like, I'm already fucking on board. See you, Michael. Like, you sold me at dedicated servers. I'm not gonna buy into the hype, but like, I'm gonna probably buy the game. Yeah, we can do elephant. I was gonna do frozen swamp, but we can do elephant instead. Not doing red baron though. I mean, Mr. Grooves, is that just like a homebrew thing for your campaign? Or for your DM? That's perfectly fine, right? Like, depending on the enemy type, right, I will do like faux morale. I won't apply it to every situation, but I will do faux morale sometimes. I'm gonna just do 2 west, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with liking Dune Awakening. I just know fucking Funcom at this point, I feel like. Which means all of, like, at a certain point, they're gonna rug pull you. Now, with Conan Exiles, that was immediately. With Age of Conan, that was, like, after a few hours of the beginning of the game. And Dune, it was just the end game. Dune, the rug pull came at the end game. At some point in time, Funcom will fuck you over with something that they underbaked. That's perfectly fair, well, like, right? I just know that, like, Dune's been getting bashed recently for their endgame. Which, surprise, surprise, you know, not surprising at all. I will, once again, I will say my biases. Fuck Funcom. So, like, I don't have an agenda per se, but I do have a bias against Funcom. Because fuck them. I gotcha. I gotcha. I will say, I bought Dune just to give it like an hour or 2 hours. I gave it an, let me up. Let me up. There we go. Just had to get it, I guess, further away. I gave Dune a solid hour, and then I refunded it immediately. The end game, generic. So like they've been rug pulling kind of the PvPers. So at first the end game zone was entirely PvP. Then they cut it in half to be PvE, PvP. And now Funcom's now saying that they're going to be adding content for like PvEers, like raids and shit. So it's making the PvPers feel like they got rug pulled. And to be quite frank, right? Like, I enjoy myself a PvP game, but PvPers in games like that are degenerates, quite frankly. Like, sorry, not sorry, but like people who enjoy those Rust-like combat loops of PvP, if you love it, sure, vibe with it, but I do consider yourself a degenerate. Because it is just like, I think Dune did a few things for offline raiding, but the concept of offline raiding in Ark just always rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, who wants to know life harder? I'm all for people who put more hours in to get ahead, but at the same time, just the idea of punishing casuals because of that is just fucking crazy to me. Oh, that's generally Mushi always the case though, right? Like, people who, the hardcore PvP crowd who migrate game to game, they are obnoxious. They're generally a very small minority in games of the population of games, but they make up so much of the rhetoric because they're so willing to, I don't want to say go on the forums and cry, because like sometimes they will have legitimate complaints, don't get me wrong. Like, just because someone's an asshole or obnoxious doesn't make all of their points wrong. But it does drown out, they do try and drown out lots of other like critiques or rhetoric. Like, you can see it like in every MMO ever, right? Whenever an MMO has PvP, it just, lots of the talking points become about PvP. I mean, PvP back in the day with WoW was a lot bigger. But like, that was the whole point of PvP servers though too, right? Is like the people who really want to do PvP go to a PvP server. Personally, for me, I've always like, when I typically play an MMO, I usually play like either RP PvP or I play PvE. I don't usually sign into the pure open world PvE areas because at the end of the day, I really just prefer more structured competitive environments. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of, I like the idea of logistics. Like, the whole idea of EVE Online, like, is enticing to me in the sense of, like, how it's structured, right? Like, the fact that logistics are important in a game like that is interesting to me. And, like, and same thing with Foxhole, too, right? That whole idea is really cool. At the same time, though, when I'm doing competitive PvP, I genuinely just don't want to feel like it's a numbers game, right? Of, like, I brought more people, or, like, I'm willing to play more hours than you, right? And in the sense of, like, in that conferring some advantage because, like, they offline you. Not because they have better gear, right? Like, I loved Warsong Gulch back in the day. I love the arenas, I love, like, the actual structured PvP where, you know, someone can have better gear than you or have a better setup than you and they can win, but it's not about, like, say, the immediate amount of hours I put in recently to, like, say, offline your base, or say they bring more people than you, right? Because they just have a bigger guild. That's not typically the PvP I like. And it's probably my background too in like Counter-Strike is like, I like games like Counter-Strike, right? Where it's like this symmetrical battle of like, you guys are on the same footing, you know, it's a conquest of skill and strategy. Like, even when you get to the point where you're adding in things like champions, right? It does feel like you're not necessarily battling versus the players, but you're battling versus the meta, or like the flavor of the month from the devs, right? Because it's been a long time since like games like League have given a shit about balance. Like, they care ever so slightly, but really they're quite okay with flavors of the month or flavors of the patch, right? They're going to have characters who are going to be good during certain patches, and they'll rotate them out, right? And I'm not really a big fan of that kind of game, right? Which is why I really like Counter-Strike. Two sides, they have the exact same opportunities on both sides. And like, sure, if a map is CT-sided in Counter-Strike, for example, like, you know, the person who's on that side first is going to have like the immediate advantage, right? But you're going to have that same advantage when you go on CT. There's nothing inherently different. There is the pressure, the mental pressure of you being behind, but that's psychological. That's something that you need to work through and get better as a player, right? Because like, there was back in the day with like 1.6, right, where some maps were like, you're expected to win 12 or 13 rounds on a certain side. And that was just how some maps played. And so it was like, part of it was the mental fortitude of like trying to win a round here and there, and not like mentally breaking before you get on your CT side. I had the same problem with Valorant, as you could probably tell, flavor of the month. I think it's unnecessarily dumbed down too, but like, my main problem is it's flavor of the month. Oh no, like Viz, that is why I do not play Eve, right? 100%. Like, I like the concept of Eve, but I would never participate in a game like Eve for that exact reason, right? Of like, it is like Rust. It is, you are playing Eve. It is like if you're in a, like, it is your life. It's a second life. Helicopter, helicopter. Just wanted to get a few pot shots off real quick. Like, yeah, the idea of Eve is great, but like, it is a no-chill game, 100%. And like, the game, and like, here's the thing, right? In a game like Eve, I don't have a problem with their economy, right? Like, if it takes months or years or like multiple months to build something, right, in Eve, that's part of like what you subscribe into when you're buying an MMO, right? 100%. Like, I have no problem with like the long grindy nature of Eve Online, because that's how it's designed. That's what it's supposed to be, right? It is an MMO. MMOs ask that of players, right? So like, the design of Eve Online fits Eve Online, but that doesn't mean I want to see features of Eve Online in this game, right? Because it doesn't fit thematically. It doesn't fit the game, like the actual game design of what this game's supposed to be. I haven't played like a marathon closed beta yet, so I have no idea how it plays. But like, Bungie's not in great shape right now. Let's do a Frozen Swamp. And the problem is too, right? Like, Bungie is responsible for them like picking up someone else's art, but like, apparently it was a contractor, right? It doesn't make it any better, but it does add context to it, right? It's like it wasn't some Bungie employee dropping the ball, it was some Bungie manager, some Bungie, like, essentially whoever hired that person, that contractor, right? And technically speaking too, if that contractor worked for, like, I'm not sure if it was a contractor in the sense of like an individual employee, or they were contracting out to a company too, right? I don't know the context of that, but like, there's plenty of instances too where companies will contract work out to other companies, and that, like, it's Bungie's issue, don't get me wrong, because them hiring them is testament to like them as a company, but they should be rolling that person through the mud, right? Rolling that company through the mud. Yeah, Bungie's been dropping the ball in Destiny for a while now, so I've heard. I haven't looked into it, but I've heard like the recent expansion for Destiny is not good. In the grand schemes of things, Mushi, if you started looking at lots of different, I would think, creators, yeah, like, if there was a lot of scrutiny, Frogpants, I've heard differently, so I'm interested. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I do not have first-hand experience, so I cannot say if it's good or bad. I've just heard not good things about it. So I've heard good things about it. The reason why I signed off of Destiny, or like stopped playing Destiny 2, is just like, yeah, the FOMO. Like that's what kind of, like there was eventually a point where I wanted to get a certain weapon for a certain build, and like at the current time you just couldn't acquire it. It was locked behind some FOMO wall, right, where like it was past its time, and like you needed to wait for them to reintroduce it or just like kick rocks. I'm just like, I'm done. I don't really want to like. Half of the fun of games of me is doing builds, and if I can't do a build because of some fucking FOMO mechanic, I'm done. All right, so we need to go to the injector site. We need to go to the shantytown, or to go to the shantytown, and then grand schedule. We can do railroad tracks. I've always enjoyed the lore of Destiny. Don't get me wrong. They've always done such a great job with lore. Agent, are you still just like fucking satellite into to Gaben's yacht, watching it move around, interpreting the signs of Gaben's yacht movement for Half-Life 3's release date? It's gotten worse. What was the expansion where it was on the ice planet, right? And you went up to a space station, did some stuff, and then it went back down. That was the last time I played Destiny 2, so it's been like a hot second since I've played Destiny. But like the last big raid I did was like the one where we went up to space stations and went back down to fight some like robots and shit. Beyond Light, yeah, that sounds familiar. So like that's the last time I played Destiny, so that's the context of. I've probably missed like what 4 or 5 expansions at this point, like major ones.
Dumping targets.
I've always really enjoyed Destiny's raid design, and not even like the individual raid design, but the mechanics of the raid, right? I think it's such a clever way of like gatekeeping, but also making content like that accessible to players that are much more casual, right? Like you have the artificially difficult like first weekend, and every weekend after that it gets easier to the point where it's like essentially just a mechanics check, right? Of like, you don't need to be good at the game, you just need to know how to do mechanics. I guess I'm going this way. But yeah, I've always enjoyed just how they have essentially made content difficult and then like made it easier over time. Yeah, Skull, I like the idea too, just because like, yeah, like doing like mechanics like that in D&D games, just because it makes it more interesting to players. It's a lot more gamey, but it makes it more interesting to the players themselves, right? When you're doing stuff like that, just not mechanics checks. Where you're actually like testing the players and not necessarily just their characters. Oh, 100% Mushi, but like that's kind of the point though too, right? Like, that's the beauty of Destiny's raid design also, is because like the first like week or two, or the first weeks when you're like below the light level of the actual raid itself, Like, you can't get away with that, right? But you're rewarded for, like, you know, you get the clout of clearing a raid on the first weekend. But they don't lock off the content to only the players who, like, have that skill or who are willing to put in the time and effort, right? They make it because it's like once you get up to like the appropriate light level, it becomes kind of trivial or easy, right? It becomes brain dead. Like, you eventually get those raids to farm status where it doesn't require like really any input at all except for doing it, which I think is nice, right? Yeah, that's the dark side of it all, first person though too, right? Is the people who are willing to do anything to get ahead. Especially like you know, when you're locking merch or content or clout behind something, yeah, like people are gonna want to get that stuff and have the clout of that, right? So they're willing to cheat. Oh, there's no 100%. Like I've only done like maybe 2 or 3 first days or first weekends, and like it's super fun, and it's literally like a no life test. But like it's fun, like it's like a cooperative like problem solving game, right? It can get kind of toxic at times, but like that just comes with the territory of like high stakes environments and younger kids, to be quite frank. I need y'all to stop spotting, please. It's always slow when you find a good raid group, yeah. But like, yeah, if you ever heard like, if you ever pug a day one, man, it is. Whew. I mean, I did a like my day one with Deepstone was literally with a pug, and I think we definitely replaced a few people sometimes. It was just tough love of like, hey, like, we're not saying you're the problem, but we definitely think you are. We're gonna remove you for someone else. And like too, it was like we didn't finish it until like we had like maybe like 1 or 2 hours left before the window closed. So it was like literally like people going to bed also and giving up. It wasn't just purely kicking people either. It was people throwing in the towel occasionally. Because like when you're playing a raid for like 18 hours, you can definitely understand people bowing out. Alright, I need to go do the control thing over here. Why can't I use meds? This game is anti-robot. Alright, let's go hack a laptop. Wait, the train schedule should be here too, actually, too. Let's get the train schedule before we go over to Shantytown.
Initiated Protocol 7. Close combat. Authorized.
How dare you dehumanize robots, Mushi? If Gunhead's saying he has a safety that you need to turn off, and we can still shoot things with the safety on, what does the safety even do? Hey, listen, listen. Listen, first person. I'm sure there's plenty of you who goon over Mother Courage. It's only fair. Alright. I would like my train schedule, please. Or more meds. I am very anti-goon behavior, to be quite frank. I have been called a prude by many of my friends. Now, I haven't found my little plan. I probably just lost the RNG fight, unfortunately. I don't have a drill for you, so I guess we'll move on. That's the OG gooning, understood. I can get on board with that. Oh, well, oh, shit. To all the people who say, why are you bringing 600 rounds? Well, ask my empty gun. Up. There we go. All right, where is the staircase up? That'll do. Oh, Mr. Groups. Yes. Yes, so very much yes. The anonymity of the internet has really emboldened people. All I'm saying, right, is that if people acted how they do online in the classrooms when they're growing up, they would have gotten lit the fuck up. I'm not a fan, like, okay, bear with me here. I am in no way condoning bullying. At the same time, it is a way to enforce conformity in people acting really fucking weird. And the problem is like there's no control over it, right? It just always goes too far, but like shaming and like bullying is a social tool to promote conformity in societies. Alright, where'd my laptop be? Oh, hey, laptop. The problem, Mr. Grooves, it's always this weird kind of, where do you really draw the line, right? It's like all things, right, where it's just like, there's not really ever any way to draw an appropriate line somewhere of like, what's an acceptable amount? I need to leave him hurt. Like that's kind of the problem with so many things, Mr. Grooves, by the way, too, is like, in practice or in theory, please leave me alone. Why are you fuck off. It's probably HK's actually, to be honest. That would make sense. Of bullying, right? or like of basically chastising people for certain views or certain stances or acting a certain way. It becomes a problem of two different things, right? One, what's the acceptable amount, and B, what's the acceptable thing, right?
Units returning home.
Well, the problem, Mr. Grooves, right, is the person doing the bullying or doing the societal pressure, their viewpoint is gonna change. Hey, Frog Pants, welcome. Welcome back to an entirely different conversation. And like, it always becomes this issue of like, who becomes the curtailer of what's acceptable, what's not, and who watches the watchman, right? It's one of those things that sounds great in practice, but because it would never be able to be controlled in an appropriate way, it's untenable, right? Well, that's gonna change person to person. Well, well, it's gonna keep happening, Mr. Grooves, right? It's gonna be unregulated, right? Like, no one's gonna regulate bullying by any means, right? People are gonna say bullying is bad, but they're gonna look the other way. There's plenty of instances of like teachers and principals, right, looking the other way at bullying because a student's more popular or because the person they're bullying they think might deserve it. And maybe they do. I'm not saying they do or don't, but like it's going to keep existing. I'm not saying it doesn't exist right now. And in practice, it does form as it's a way of societal pressure to enforce conformity, right? And, you know, enforce people not acting really fucking weird. And the internet's a safe space for that, really, in a way, right? For people to act as weird as they want to be without being bullied. Because if they're getting bullied, they can just go somewhere else. You can't change classrooms or change schools. I mean, you could, but there's a lot of friction to that, right? But it's really easy to leave a Discord server. Or go to like a place where, you know, like-minded people exist. Even though they might be a small minority in the grand scheme of things. All right. Well, welcome back, Blood. 100% first person, right? Like, that could be a clear line, right? But like, there is some like, you know, psychological bullying that goes way too far though too, right? Like, I would very easily draw the line too of like, yeah, physical is over the line, but there's also plenty of social, like just pure psychological bullying too that goes way too far. I would love more water. Yeah, so the context for people joining in late here is that we were talking basically about, like, essentially gooners or gooning, essentially, like, you know, kids or young people obsessed with porn, and, like, how on the internet they don't, like, they don't get chastised for it, or they can find safe spaces to embrace their goonery with other people. But, like, in a public environment, right, they would get bullied, like, as a form of societal pressure to tell them that's not okay. Let's go back, man. We have hidden water rights. We want to bring in lots of backpack stuff, or we want to bring in the rack, really. Are we killing Red Baron? No. We are doing this one though, which could have an extra nearby. I don't think I want to bring Painless in for this. I think I want a silenced gun. We could just do RPK again. Yeah, we'll just do RPK again. 300 rounds. We gotta be a little bit light here because we don't have a lot of space in our backpack. 40 extra rounds of shotgun shells, and then whatever meds we can carry. That'll do. Well, Jacob, so the parallel, Jacob, is that the parallel is that, like, when I was growing up, weird kids who would, like, kind of do not pure gooning, but like they would have goon-like behavior. they would get bullied. Yeah, essentially kids being weirdos on the internet and not catching flack for it because it's the internet, right? They can find a safe space on the internet, they can go to like-minded people too, right? And then like they can remove themselves from any bullying situations, right? In a school environment, you can't remove, like a kid who's getting bullied can't really remove themselves from the bullying, right? It's not really necessarily condoning it, generic. It's more in the sense of stating things that would happen in like an environment like that, right? Like bullying, there is a reason why bullies target people who are different, right? Who are weaker, who are different, because they're easy targets, because they're not like regular people. They point out the societal inconsistencies of that person and say, hey, you're not conforming, you're really easy to pick on, I'm going to pick on you for X, Y, and Z. And naturally it's because the bully has some issues, right? Like they might, you know, feel insecure, so on and so forth, right? But, you know, they do target people like that. And like it goes back historically too, right? Like there's plenty of instances of medieval societies too, right? Shaming certain individuals in their towns, right? For certain reasons. There's also a thing too, remember, exiling people used to be a thing. There used to be scenarios where people would be like, we're so fucking done with you, we're not going to kill you because that would be evil or bad, but you can't live here anymore. Go somewhere else. Hey, Doomblade. We are indeed bullying cyborgs with guns. I mean, Australia was originally a penal colony, yeah. Alright, give me water. I'm very thirsty. Yep, there we go. They patched it out, unfortunately. Also, we're not using painless.
Keep cool. Carry on.
Rat King deserves it. Rat King absolutely deserves it. Rat King deserves no sympathies. Goldbrick's still around. Wait, is this quest still around? I haven't seen this quest in forever. When Rat King actually does something for me positive, I will think otherwise. Oh, close. Sir, I'm operating a mechanical device. Please stop shooting me. See, that's the problem though, Gunplay. That's the problem. Them goddamn gooners making everything fucking sexual. Get your mind out of the goddamn gutter.
Bagging it up.
Hey, Andrew. How's it going? Alright, time to help some civvies. Dust, I wouldn't be surprised because that's part of the whole ruse of Rat King. Rat King is just a fucking media mech from Europa. That's apparently got you all fucking fooled. Europa has him, man. Europa's just like, oh, let's put a fucking mask on one of our media mechs and fool all the fucking scavs into thinking he's a god. That's you Rat King believers. You're getting fucking psyoped by Europa. Be free, my children. So much water. So nice. Bushi. Wait. Why aren't you guys free yet? Finish the quest. There we go. No, so Rat King is just a Europa psyop. They're like, Europa I command was like, these scavs are really fucking stupid. So let's just put a mask on one of our medium mechs and like he can pretend to be some scav deity to get the scavs on our side. You're gonna get invited to Rat King's birthday party, and then you're gonna fucking wake up in a fucking Europa conscript uniform. I mean, but the balloons are too small. I've covered this. The balloons are too small. Well, becoming a Europa conscript? Yeah, being turned into chow. Yeah, you're literally visiting the meat grinder because you're becoming the meat grinder. And you're becoming the meat in the meat grinder. Let's do a stealth run. Why not? All I'm seeing right now in chat is a bunch of Rat King apologizers. A bunch of Rat King simps. Well, I mean, when I say stealth, I mean stealth in the lightest possible connotation, Copper. I mean, the Rat King is real, Quinto. It's just a psyop by Europa. They literally just fucking put a mask on a medium mech, and you guys suddenly think it's a deity. What have been the stories, Blood? What are the stories? I have 1v1 the fucking Rat King before. I have literal stream proof.
Another beautiful day on the surface.
It's literally just the Europa medium mech with a mask on. Yeah, it's Europa trying to fucking train you, Blood Panda. They're turning you into conscripts. I mean, the stealth light Copper is really just avoiding the enemies because they don't spawn that aggressive in this map. Gotta go fast. Listen, you're gonna get an invitation to Rat King's birthday party. You're gonna get drugged. You're gonna wake up with a fucking conscript Europa uniform and a few grenades. You're gonna be Europa's new fucking infantry unit. The suicidal conscripts with hand grenades. Rat King giving you guys grenades was just him training you. Be free. And then you get to go be nominated for some suicidal charges with some grenades in your hand. You're gonna turn into the Bomberman from Serious Sam. That not? Civilians, can you please escape, please? I'm looking for my quest completion. Civilians. Hey, Flap. How's the what going? Imagine being that much of a Rat King simp, though, Mushi. I mean, there's no harm in waiting copper, though, too, right? Let it cook. I mean, would you... Okay, Delta, hold on here. Would you... What's going on, well, Flap? Would you really consider becoming a suicidal grunt for Europa, where your whole goal was supposed to just basically pull a hand grenade out and then rush something, as really better than a mindless cyborg? But there you go. There, that's stealth in this game, right? It's really just avoiding enemies. Wait, do you not fucking goddamn it, civilians? Case in point, apparently the cyborgs are even better than, way better than becoming a conscript who's only supposed to blow their head off with a grenade. Bunch of Rat King Simpson chat. Eventually one of you will see the light one day. That Rat King is just a ruse. They're just using you. It's a dog-eat-dog world. They do not care about you at all. Wait, hold on here. You think this cares about you at all? He's looking down upon them with anger and hate. Alright, let's see here. Zen understands. See, Zen gets it. Hold on, let's go. Do. Do I need to get mine out of storage? Yeah, it's probably in storage. Hold on, let me go find it. Wonder if the pilot's still in there, actually. Yeah, get a Rat King Codex. Also, don't worry about it. Okay, let's see, what map? Nice Flap. There's no scrapyard today. Let's do some scrapyard. Actually, Babble's really cheap today. Let's do a Babble. Yeah, not awkward. Listen, Michael told me to do it. Okay, he's not in chat to defend himself, so I'm gonna throw Michael under the bus. Michael told me to do it. Does that make it okay? Probably not. But it was not my own idea. It was Michael's. Oh, what tower is loose? You mean just doing Babble? I mean, if you're referring to Lewis, oh, I mean the radar towers. Radar towers, I mean, they're kind of cool. You can kind of get an idea of like what's going on a certain map, but not really all that much, to be honest. Like you can get opals if you use them. If you use all three, you get an opal spawn. But like other than that, they provide you some information temporarily about the map, like enemy percentages, and like a few drops or like a few effects if you have any effects active. But other than that, so yes, Mr. Coldcuts Coquetta from the June patch is super rare. You only see him if you have his codex. So apparently the way it works is his codex will just spawn on the floor somewhere. Not all the time, but sometimes on maps it will spawn on the floor. And when you pick it up, it will summon him. And I haven't found one yet. I haven't really been looking, to be honest. If I come across it, I'll probably pick it up. But I haven't just come across one yet, so I haven't seen him yet. The Stilt Walker we've seen once on the Friday stream, last Friday, when the patch first came out. But I haven't seen him since. And I wasn't able to get him to spawn either when I was trying to get like footage of him for like 2 hours for the patch notes. So I gave up.
Just one more run.
So that they exist, they're just not common enemies.
Don't miss. Make every shot count.
And I think overall, like, I don't mind the fact that they're rare. There is that degree of like weirdness that like they're like the face of the patch, but because they're so rare, you like it's rough to hype something up and just never be able to see it. Thanks, Flat, appreciate it. So like I don't mind the fact that they're rare, but it was kind of weird that they get hyped up and you just can't find them. Because like having rare units like that you don't see very often makes like the few chances you do see them very novel. It is just weird. Like if they didn't announce they added them in, it would be kind of cool seeing it, right? Like, oh shit, I didn't know this existed, it's super rare. I don't know of any developer console in the game. Will we? Go, my turrets, go. Like, there might be mods for the game to summon units, I'm not aware of them. I just have my camera mod, and that's really about it. I don't know, I mean... Yeah, there's the cool factor Wyver, right? But there's also the factor of, like... If it's supposed to be this badass unit that's, like, super rare and only deployed in, like, circumstances that are very, like, niche, and it's super lethal, like... For units like that, I want them rare because I want them to make them so fucking lethal that you actively avoid them, right? Or like, you know, they're just like some force to reckon with on the battlefield.
As long as I'm the last one standing.
It has like APS, it has ATGMs too that it fires in the sky. It also just it's just different, so it's cool. The fucking cone. Yeah, I mean, kind of yes and no. I mean, it still doesn't really shoot the player really, but it will like one-shot the player. It doesn't have a sync kill, so it's not like that. It's also, I think, a unit they said too that's like work in progress also. Like, the actual patch notes, I think, said work in progress on the unit. It's floating. Yeah, but like at the same time, Blood, this is one they actually like specifically pointed out as work in progress.
Eyes on us. Spread out.
Oh no, no. I mean, that's the whole point too, Copper, also, is like, you can kind of see the reason why we were stealthy and underground is because we just didn't come across units, or like the units that we did see, we were able to avoid. This map is so utterly dense with the respawns and just units everywhere, like, you just can't stealth. Like, you could really try if you really wanted to, but like, you're gonna have to solve some problems from shooting eventually.
Hey, this gear is delicate. And time is short.
Like, stealth is not something you do because you think it's easier in this game, it's something because you want to do because of vibes. The only map that's kind of changed is Cemetery, where you don't really want to piss off the grabber early. Yeah, I'm getting a note right now that's lagging a little bit. Actually, I'm getting tons of drop frames too, actually, weirdly enough. This is just part of the new situation, unfortunately. I'm technically on a VPN right now because it helped out the routing earlier. And I've already reduced the bitrate of YouTube once. It's on 15K, I think, right now. It might be the VPN shooting out. It looked like it was stable, but I don't know. The problem is I think it was like, Dust, I'm not referring to yesterday, I'm referring to the previous streams where it was clearly having buffering issues. But like, from last stream to this stream, nothing has changed. It's just the variability of using a VPN. I mean, I'm showing Unicorn, I was looking at my stream, it was, there was some dropping of frames, but it was mainly the fact that like my uploaded bitrate went down drastically for some reason. And I already have quality of service, I think, on my... I get a new router for quality of service and for VPN purposes, and it's using both of those right now. So it's probably just my internet taking a fucking shit. Good old Spectrum. I can log into my router and see what's going on, but it probably won't tell me much without me actually like sitting down and diagnosing shit. I am seeing drop frames too recently. It actually is a pretty decent point at this point. The problem is nothing has changed literally at all. Hold on. Yeah, nothing's changed on my side. Like, I'm dropping frames more than I would normally would, but like, nothing's changed. I'm running at reduced bit rates already from 2 streams ago. I could throw myself off the VPN and see if that works. But doing that midstream is probably like fucking weird too. We'll just see if we can work through it or not. Hopefully we can work through it. Let's see here. Stairway? Let's do downtown. We've done downtown recently. It looks like it's back to green now, hopefully, knock on wood. The only downside is I think the only other solution I have is switching over to a pure X264 stream on YouTube, which negates the purpose of my graphics card, but it is what it is. Essentially, I can use a different service to upload to YouTube, but it doesn't have AV1 support, so I have to use X264 CPU encoding. But it apparently that service buffers better and like does video better in regards to things like this where it's patchwork. But anyway. Mushi. No, it's literally fucking Spectrum. They're such a fucking shitty service. I can't wait for just like everywhere to get fiber and them to fucking lose their company because they just don't make any money. And people are just like fucking pay for them for TV. Everyone, go ditch your TV service. Fuck cable TV. Yeah, like it's like I have no agency at all, and with the service I have, I've done literally everything I think I can, except for like that very last thing I talked about, where I could try X264 to basically try to compensate for like the weird buffering sometimes of bit rates. Why does it have to be a fucking weird-ass code? I mean, I did this to myself, though, right? I will say. Like, I chose to pick up the Saw. I mean, like, what... I have such a long history with Spectrum and my hate for them that, like, I'm sure I'm on a list for them. Like, back in the day, like, I'm probably, I think I know the problem at hand here is, like, I've had routing issues with them before where their routing is to certain areas is not good. And, like, they will lose packets and just have to do, like, they just have really shitty, like, hops, basically. Essentially, like, connections to certain areas of the world. And... and sometimes when you have to go through that area to get your connection through or get your, you know, service through, it gets fucked. And you can try to work your way around it, like I kind of have, where I'm telling my traffic to go through a certain area to hopefully avoid that. But then I'm on a VPN, so now it becomes another point of failure, right? Where if the VPN ever gets a bit shaky, or like the VPN server I'm using gets shaky, right? You know, it might start dropping frames like it's currently doing. It's abnormal today, though, how many fucking frames I'm dropping, apparently. I'm up to 5% actually right now. I wonder if it shouldn't be my graphics card. They kind of are first person, but like they are a reliable way of like getting around of like a bottleneck of somewhere for routing. I guess the next thing I can do next stream also, I'll maybe do a stream on the weekend also to experiment also, is just I'll have an internet monitor going on the side and seeing what's going on. Because I'll probably need a diagnosis and see exactly what the failure point is. I'm guessing right now the server I'm using that I was using last time isn't as stable as it was last time, and so it's kind of shitting out. Are there too many mechs here? Oh, there are. I have no idea, Zen. I'm not sure if, like, pistols are supposed to actually, like, literally give you increased stealth. They might, I just have no idea. I know the stealth work's supposed to, but, like, the pistol, I'm not sure. It would be funny, though, if they, like, interfere with each other in some weird way. So I'm trying to think, like, it has to be the VPN server, I think, at this point. I have quality of service on my router, so, like, it's prioritizing my stream PC for bandwidth. I mean, I'm not using my whole connection right now on upload speed. It has to be the fucking server. So I think, like, really my only recourse now is trying X264 and using the alternate YouTube upload. And then just not playing on a VPN. All right, there's another dollar. Another LA reference. No, this is way more long-standing though than Rat King. This is Spectrum, the OG Rat King. Correct, Mass Michael, yes, correct. They're on a VPN, not literally from like a. They're on a VPN through the router. So it's not like I have like NordVPN open on both machines. I have on the router itself, on the networking router, like essentially the traffic from both these machines are being routed through a server nearby, as opposed to going through my ISP servers. So, first person, Spectrum is a cable company, essentially an internet service provider for consumers. Like not business, they do business plans too, but mainly consumers. They'll do small businesses in here and there, but like by and large, if you're a big business, you're using a different ISP. Anyway, they like cable companies in America are notoriously fucking awful because they essentially have monopolies in local areas. So like they don't have to give you better service because you don't have a fucking choice. And then multiply that by like literally the size of America. And it's getting better with metropolitan areas because of like fiber connections and competition. But like if you're not in a big city or a metro area, you kind of have like maybe one or two choices, really only one choice of ISP. And like they know that and they just don't give good service. They've been dragging their feet for the longest time. And then that and multiply that as opposed to Europe, which it's more one-to-one. Might not be perfectly one-to-one, but it's more one-to-one than the US. The download versus upload rates in America are heavily skewed from like from 10 to 1 to worse. So meaning that like your upload rate will be 1/10 of your download rate. So for example, a very common plan back in the day was when you have 10 megabits down and 1 megabit up. And then like that hasn't really improved over time. Like, so for example, right now on Spectrum Cable Company, like they're literally their best plan in the area. I have 1 gig down, but only 35 megabits up. So even worse than 1 to 10 now. But like, you know, before I moved, because career reasons, I was on Google Fiber, which was like perfect, right? It was 1 gig down, 1 gig up. Yeah, it's very asymmetric. But that's always been the thing with America, right, in regards to ISPs, is they've always done this very skewed plan. Fiber's always been 1-to-1, but like, yeah, rural America's always been like absolutely fucked on upload. And the problem right now is not necessarily upload, because I'm not even close to my cap on upload. It's just the weird things I have to do to get around routing issues. To give you an idea also of like the routing issues I've had from this area before, because I've lived here before for undergrad, is that like some of the routing issues are really like, there was, when I played Counter-Strike competitively, there was one server, like one set of servers in Texas I could not play on, because like I couldn't play Dallas servers. I could play some other servers in Texas. I could play Colorado, I could play Chicago. I couldn't play servers in Dallas, Texas, because there was I actually did like an IP trace, and like I figured out what the exact fucking hop was, and there was a hop in Texas from some small local fucking ISP that just utterly annihilated my connection. It basically made it unusable. And like, because it's not it was some like local fucking podunk ISP in Texas that I had no control over. So like, what can I fucking do? Complain to them? I'm not a customer of them. So Michael, the issue, so before last stream, so Monday and before, there were issues where the connection, the routing coming out from my local area was not properly synced up and doing well, and it was causing the stream to be bad and the audio to be desynced. And me going on a VPN to get around a routing issue fixed that last stream. Now the problem is that the same thing that fixed that is probably causing other issues right now, because it's not as stable as connection as it was apparently fucking Wednesday. And that is a downside of VPNs too, right? It's like, they're never gonna say they're gonna provide consistent service. That's the thing too, is like, you will see plenty of Portuguese or like Colombians or, you know, South Americans and on NA servers all the time. Mesa, let's do Mesa. Like, I can get off the VPN mess, Michael, but what that probably is going to mean is, to make sure the actual, like, everything's synced up properly, I need to go to an alternate service to upload to YouTube, or alternate pathing, because I think it's RTMP right now is what I'm using, which supports AV1 and X264, but like, it has weird issues when you have like unstable connections. But the other service for YouTube I can use, which is an older legacy service, I think, only does X264 support, so CPU encoding support, but apparently it does a better job at handling my issue, I think. So that'll probably be next stream. I'm gonna have to fucking play around with X264 on both streams this weekend and see how it works. And I have a 5950X in my stream PC, so it should be able to handle it, but yeah, I'll have to look into that in regards to my router. There was a really easy way to do VPNs on my router, so I just tried that first, and it worked out Wednesday perfectly well. Wednesday streams was perfect, right, guys? Like, there was no issues on Wednesday stream at all. Like, maybe like 1 or 2 times, but like right now it's really bad. I can see it right now with drop frames. I'm some fucking 7% drop frames now over the entire stream.
This is it. We decide what happens next.
And such is the glory of cable ISPs, right? It's just like, it's a different problem every fucking day. You don't understand how nice it was for fucking like 4 or 5 years of just not having to deal with them, because like it suddenly became an afterthought. Like, there was outages here or there in Google Fiber, right? But like, I expect an outage for Spectrum like once every month at the least. Google Fiber happened once in like my entire like 4 or 5 years of owning them. It was so nice. It was so nice. I'm not a Google simp, but Google Fiber was a fucking good service. I'm so fucking tempted right now to just to drop the VPN like on the spot and see if that fixes it or not, but I have no idea what's gonna do to the connection at all while I'm midstream. Yeah, I'm curious too. I'll take a look at. I'm gonna go take a look at the like VPN after this to make sure it's routing through the right server, and see if anything else is going on the router at all. Nah, the plan I have with Nord, I checked into that to see if there's any bandwidth issues. There shouldn't be. They should like my speed is reduced on my download. Like I have a gig plan upload, right, or a gig plan download, but it's like only 250 on the VPN for the server, which is fine, right? I don't need a full gig when I'm fucking streaming, and the upload was fine too. Well, I mean, people hate Google because like they farm your data and sell it and do shit like that, and because they're big corpo company. But no, I am curious. It could just be too like there's just like there might be something weird going on also. Who the fuck knows? I'll figure it out. It is like the beauty of like being raised on the internet from the 90s to like current day is like I'm just so fucking used to having to troubleshoot things constantly. It's like it's not even a hassle. It's like it's a hassle, don't get me wrong, but like I'm so fucking used to like having to deal with shit like this. It's just like it's another fucking it's another day of the week. I mean, I believe it. Yeah. The internet, like, internet privacy is dead. I mean, you could probably blame the Patriot Act for that more than anything else. Who's shooting me? Is it you? That's legal. You can't shoot me when you're not aggroed.
This is it. We decide what happens next.
Hello, Fly. Goodbye, Fly. Until I see you again. I'm actually here. Let me see how long until it respawns. Oh, it's a chopper. They're so slow. Wait, can you shoot them out of midair? Hold on here. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh god. It's side strafing. Oh god. Wait, hold on here. So I have quality of service on my router, yeah, and the quality of service is prioritizing the stream PC over everything else. Like, it should be prioritizing the bandwidth from the stream PC. Where the fuck did the chopper go?
Whittle them down and we can break out.
Did it just go into the ground and disappear? Alright, well. Goodbye, chopper. Well, it's essentially outside my hands, like, for the most part. But, like, there's a few things I can mitigate it, right? Like, part of the VPN is mitigating it, right? In regards to trying to get around the routing of my ISP. And that worked Wednesday, right? So it might just be this hit or miss sort of style of just, like, playing around. And it probably just means, like, before every stream, I need to, like, go see if the server I'm currently using for routing is stable. The other option, I'm gonna probably try this too, is I'm gonna try the other option for YouTube streaming where it's gonna use X264, but it should be able to handle buffering better. And just like, essentially, it's gonna have more latency in regards to talking to you guys. I'm not sure how much, but I guess we'll just see how it is. The weird thing is though too, right, like the weirdest fucking thing at all of me, like before I tried the VPN method, it was only YouTube shitting the bed. See you, Jacob. So it makes me, it does like point to me as like some weird fucking routing issue. Which is very par for the course for Spectrum. Are you in there? It's not YouTube throttling. If YouTube was throttling, they throttled me back in the fucking, YouTube is YouTube is very lenient. If YouTube was throttling me, it would have been back on Google Fiber. I've cut my connection by 10 megabits to YouTube already. And it was handling it perfectly fine on Google Fiber, so I don't think it's that. Like I'm not even close to their cap. Like YouTube's, like Twitch's cap is draconian, right? Like Twitch, you can have a max of 6K bitrate essentially. YouTube's 55K. Granted, there's no literal reason to upstream at 55K on a live stream, but you could do it if you wanted to. That's their cap. Like there's at the point of 55K, you've hit diminishing returns so fucking hard. Hey, Orgamech's back. Huh. Interesting. Oh shit. Are you shooting the... Oh, it's the... Wait, where'd you go? It's interesting how he's like prioritizing like the Orgamech whenever he can see the Orgamech and then me. No, go after the HK, not me. Wait, is that Midi Mech over there? Can I set up a fight? I have an idea. Hold on, it's like it. No. Why is it so fucking arbitrarily large? I mean, it makes the Orgamech threatening, I sure guess, but it makes it threatening in such a shitty way. It's such a stupidly large radius. It's so bad. All I want to do is set up a fight between a mech and an Orgamech, and every time the Orgamech does some large ass fucking AoE stomp and just kills me. No, yeah, it's an insta AoE stomp, and it's a pretty large radius around it. And I think it's like black or white too. It's not even like the farther you are away, you take less damage. It's just it's binary. It's if you're in this radius, you're just dead. Good old. That's the second time Maskman's died today from my attempt to pitch a fight between an HK and Orgamech. Poor guy. Poor guy. All right. Let's use a different gun, actually. Let's go... Well, I mean, I'm using Old Man, though. Old Man doesn't use a lot of guns. Thanks to his bum arm. Apparently the TKB is supposed to have things now, apparently, allegedly. Hold on, let me just sell stuff to you. TKB? Yeah. Apparently this is supposed to have mods now. I think it's the same handguard, though. Oh, there we go. Alright, TKB, where are you? The weird I failed versus the AK TKB. I don't mind the insta-kill, but I would like it to be more synced up than that. It feels like, we're too far away for that kind of lethality. Like, honestly, just a damage fall-off would probably feel more appropriate, right? Like, if you're next to him and he slams you, sure, that instantly kills you, but, like, it's the binary nature of, like, the AoE that feels, I think, off-putting to me. Like, at the radius that we're at, I would say damage is fine, but insta-kill is not. Alright, maybe we don't need 2,000 rounds of 9mm. Just a thought. Just maybe a little thought there. Alright, there we go. Only 1,000. And, like, the weird thing is, too, like, honestly, I wouldn't care if it was, like, the Orgamech had, like, a 20mm cannon and instantly killed me if I aggroed it, right? Because that feels like it makes sense, right? It has a 20mm cannon, it turns at you, kills you immediately with the cannon itself, right? Because it's, like, 20mm should kill you. But, like, the weird stomp from, like, 10, 20 feet away... I mean, isn't that pyro for par? Isn't that just pyro?
Look for gaps. Maybe we can slip past.
What is this? Oh god. Alright, I forgot that, you know, only 30 rounds of 5.45 is not good versus cyborgs. Wait. Sorry, what? I don't I don't think that flashlight's on, right? I don't know why I have this weird feeling that this flashlight isn't on right. But I have this just back in my mind, just have this feeling. Oh. Curious. I mean, maybe? Pistols have always been weird. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Like, I want to see myself better, so let's have the flashlight pointed at my face. Maybe it's because I want to let them see my face as I kill them. So I put the flashlight on backwards. Oh god. Oh god, they're so quick. I mean, it looks cool at least, though. Exactly, Mr. Grooves. That's 100% the vibe. It's just spooky flashlight time. Stop going into the floor. There. I see your flashlight. Where did you go? Alright, grenade launcher, guys. Oh god. I mean, look how I have the water thief mask on too, I think, right now, right? Imagine how terrifying I look.
Too close.
Alright, actually I'm getting a little bit low on ammo now. Well, only a 545 actually. Time for the Glockening.
Pick your.
It really is like the best 9mm SMG in the game. It happens to be a pistol. Alright, make water.
More to carry back. Look for gaps. Maybe.
It works out pretty well. Yeah, I mean, it really only takes the place, though, of, like, the SMGs when you get the 50-round drum mag, but yeah.
Work our way through.
I mean, for part, considering that the audience has to constantly ask for Europa units, I wouldn't hold your breath for any cool more Europa units anytime soon. You got the Stilt Walker, be happy. And I will say, like, I think we've talked about this before, Fruit Par also, in the sense of, like, those units like that just get rolled over for a multitude of different reasons, right? Like, there's no way you can put Pyro in the same AO as mechs and expect Pyro to live for any meaningful time frame. What the fuck would... No, come, fucking stop moving around at Mach 1. Please. Alright, you can't say I didn't try.
slip past.
Do you guys think 9mm should stagger infantry? Or stagger cyborgs? It feels like kind of... I'm not saying like 9mm is nothing. But from like a game standpoint, right? Don't you think like 9mm is a bit too anemic to actually like stagger? At least cyborgs in the case, right? Like dedicated melee units. Yeah, Blood, ever since they detached infantry from take raid, they kind of just don't obey the laws of acceleration anymore.
Home free.
All right. But I will say, I do enjoy the fact that like 9mm weighs literally nothing for the purposes of carrying it. Like, genuinely, if we went over to like, say, Mask Man and got our pack mule. Which 9mm do I have? Hey Doc, how's it going? I'm kind of curious, actually. Let's do... What are these rigs like? This rig is... Okay, so it's mostly, it's 5 mediums and 3 larges. So this is a medium right here. Okay, so the mediums can fit 1.5K. 1.6K. Wait, hold on. There's an easier way of doing this. There we go. And the large can fit 2K. So we have 3 larges, so that's like 6K. And then 7.5, 9, 10.5, 12. You can carry like around 14 probably K rounds of 9mm in a pack mule. Casual 14,000 rounds. Alright, we got a P90 ammo. Mech trench. Let's get our quests. Hey Josh, how's it going? Let's see here. Alright, that's good. And that's good. I'm not sure what maps like would really work well with jetpack troopers. I mean, they'd be cool, but like we have opals right now and they just kind of feel underutilized. I forgot medicine.
Gotta keep a record in the event of my death.
There's gonna be so many fucking cyborg. Wait, aren't you supposed to be 1,000? I could have sworn, did I only bring 100? Oh well. P90 time. No meds. A 10th of the ammo I thought I was bringing. A broken Mask Man skin. There we go, it fixed itself. Alright, calm down there, Kojima.
think they spotted us. Hit for us.
Hey. The hell? Oh, 100%, but it's more in the sense of like when you have like the cyborgs, right? It's mainly from a balancing perspective thing of a lot of units are kind of comically easy to deal with because of stagger lock. And while I don't mind the idea of crowd control, also this gun's really loud right now. While I don't mind the idea of crowd control, it when the whole game feels like it's been balanced around said crowd control, it feels a bit off. Is the stream tweaking so fucking bad right now that Delta you typed it in once and it said it 4 times? Is that what we're currently at? Oh god. Oh god. There's so many of them. Like, you gotta notice how, like, how, for example, these crawlers don't get staggered, right? Which makes them a bit more threatening because I'm having to back up while I fight them. No, Delta, I don't think you did that either. I'm curious if the stream is tweaking out that bad. It's gonna send messages 4 times. I mean, I'm already not part of the hive mind because I'm not a fan of Rat King, unlike y'all folk. Y'all on your Rat King hive mind. Oh, time to eat some dirt. There we go. Alright, sleepy time to go. And I got actual first aid kits, thank god. It's so quiet now, this is nice. Just lots of bodies everywhere. Got a little walking cyborg there. A few walking cyborgs in here, actually. So it takes like most of a mag of P90 ammo to kill one cyborg. Actually, that would a lot quicker. Alright, that's done.
As long as I'm the last one standing.
No. Alright, we're good there. Oh god. Please no. Whatever, you guys come around. So many cyborgs. Alright, I understand that certain areas should be louder than other areas with audio, but it doesn't need to be that aggressive. I kind of always pictured that was supposed to be the whole thing in regards to, like, taking on enemy bosses with, like, weak spots and shit, right? With groups. Like, it'd be doable alone, but it'd be really hard alone. So many cyborgs. I'm just trying to do some quests. I need to leave probably, actually. This is too many for me to handle with anemic guns like the P90. They're grenade. It did nothing to them, understood. It is really like the lens flare of audio. I don't when I say like bosses, I'm not really saying like arena style, but more of like they're out in the open, and if you choose to fight them you can, but it's really foolhardy unless you're really prepared and with a group probably. Yeah, it kind of does need larger maps, I will agree.
On a day of close call.
Alright, so what did we learn? The P90 is awful. That is what we learned. Yeah, the only problem, Unicorn, is I really genuinely think, considering we don't have characters that can unequip guns, or drop guns, or just do anything, like you have to have 2 guns on at all times. I just don't think they ever plan to have characters like be unequipped or swap guns, right? It kind of feels like they've pushed themselves into an area where they just really can't accommodate that. All right, 54R. Let's make sure we bring enough 9mm this time. Okay, we have enough 9mm this time. And I guess let's do a Scorched Enclave. All right, Pyro, sure. I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't know. It gets into this weird area, Delta, right? Well, it all goes back to, like, enemy lethality, right? If enemies just die all the time, right, and drop their really expensive high-level guns, does that just not circumnavigate progress? And if the point is like, yeah, you can just make them destroy, like, that's what we currently have, right? Is we have that system in the game where you can pick up destroyed guns and then go repair them later. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a game developed mainly by artists, so the vibes are immaculate, but like lots of the game systems are kind of underbaked right now, and they're working on them. So we'll see if they can get across the finish line or not. Delta, you're having a fever dream of a game with an actual economy. I'm gonna need you to calm down over there. Looking for one more quest for killing things. Ideally, actually, probably, yeah, target locked works. I'm just messing with you, Delta. You're good. Nothing wrong with dreaming. Yeah, I think I tried Mortal Shell 1, but never got into it.
Another beautiful day on the surface.
That's kind of like, honestly, like if you really vibe with the art and you're okay with just the atmosphere of the game, if you're okay with playing like more of a living art book as opposed to a game, you can probably go ahead and pull the trigger now. But like there is that aspect of like if you're expecting a full-fledged game, it ain't there yet. No, we haven't heard anything about like art book or like merch release or anything like that. All right, it's pirate cars are there.
Christmas.
Oh, lost visual. Oh, it's still pirate. You're making this hard. There he is. All right, pirate's gone. I think that's the target. He only really hit his feet right now.
Not enough ammo in the world for this.
Yes, there is. Hold still. Come back, please. There we go, got him. Yep. Alright, those are targets. Yeah, we can just loot.
Not ever.
Well, fruit part, I mean, like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, like, in regards to, like... Rillo makes great videos, don't get me wrong, but I definitely feel like there's probably a few people feeling like what Rillo sold is not really where the game is right now. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I wouldn't say it's malicious by his fault too, anyway. Like, either, right? I'm not saying that like Rillo went of his way to like sell you a game that's not what he said it was. It's not malicious by any means, but it's definitely not what he said it was. Which is perfectly fair. I didn't watch Rillo until after I got the game for other reasons because of their own marketing. So, I mainly bought in for the whole offline PvE extraction shooter in a sci-fi setting. That makes sense, like an industrial sort of theme as. I can see that, 100%. Like the OG power armor and stuff. I'm kind of curious though, like fruit part, like where can they really put any of these mechs, right? Like sure, they've kind of like pushed them into a few areas of current maps, but like on a grand scheme of things, like even the Stiltwalker, like the Stiltwalker and any bigger mechs than that kind of feel out of place, and like they feel like they're already being like crunched inside of these maps. The potential is a strong word, Duffs, because the design philosophy doesn't seem like it aligns with what Rillo says. Delta, I would say that's probably the wrong way of doing things, right? I would use stuff like the art book to help fund development, not supplemental development, or after development. I would use it as a way of shoring up cash reserves. Same thing with merch. Oh, for sure, yeah. It's got that, it's like, yeah, it's got that very dirty feel to it where it's like everything's not clean. It's always the thing with like more modern art styles now is like everything's very clear and clean and vibrant and contrasty. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, as the gunplay ain't there for me. But like, there are plenty of people who I think the gunplay is passable for them. So like, I am not like the voice of everyone, but for me the gunplay has never been there, and I don't think it ever will be there. But like, that just might be philosophical differences of like what I enjoy in gunplay and what they enjoy in gunplay. Like for me, I want, in a stylized game like this, I want diverse guns that feel different, but the guns feel pretty homogeneous. Like I don't want to do like recoil patterns, but like having the feeling of how a gun recoils is important. I mean, I can just go show you Scrapyard real quick. Fuck off. I mean, the gun attachments are sci-fi, Blood Panda, but like, they're just, but like, you see the exact issue right now, right? Where like one of the attachment points is like reversed, and then you have the issues where apparently like the vector one's misaligned. They're making their life so fucking difficult for an indie company. Like, they're trying to replicate the amount of depth Tarkov has in the span of months, when Tarkov had fucking years. I would actually, like, that's one of my key critiques though, is I would prefer if they had less guns and less attachments, if they actually felt more impactful. I would rather them spend more time on less guns, making them feel better, as opposed to having a wide amount of guns that all feel the fucking same. And just have, like, stylistic differences, right? Like, am I playing fucking dress up, or like, am I playing dress up, or am I playing a game with choice? And like, it's okay to have games that are about dress up. That's the whole fucking tactical like the tactical whole vibe, right? That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, is it really something you should be spending lots of time on as a small indie developer with not lots of choice, or not lots of time rather? So like, let me bring in the M4 in, and let me bring in, like, let's say the AK, right? Like, two like different guns, but like very similar guns, right? You know, I'll bring a few meds in too, just because. So let me go over to Scrapyard. Scrapyard's like the de facto sort of like weapon test map, just because it's a very chill map. I mean, scavs are too powerful, 100%, but like, it's not just as simple as like the guns are too strong. It's lots of different things combined. All right, so like, we have our M4 here, and like, I'll do this twice. So we'll do one shooting period all ADS. We'll do one shooting period over the shoulder. So you can see there's an initial kick, then the like recoil compensation kicks in and it turns into a laser, and as you keep shooting, the bullets bloom over time, but it's like not really attached to the gun, it just blooms where your impact is over time. All right, so this is third person, where you have the initial kick, where the recoil comp kicks in basically, and as over time you can see the bullet spread gets worse. Some guns is worse than others, like the Saw gets really bad very quickly. But like, now I pull out over an AK, right? And we'll do the same thing where it's like the same thing, right? Where it's just the quick kick into recoil compensation into bloom. So like, they feel the same, right? Like, I'm not trying, I'm not moving the mouse at all when I do this. Like, this is just like point click adventure. And then same thing, right? Where like, you can just see it right now. The initial kick comes back down and then just does bloom eventually. and it doesn't feel, yeah, dispersion over time increases, which is just blue, but like it doesn't feel attached to the gun, right? Like it's not my character moving the gun around more, which is causing the bullets to disperse. It's just this weird arbitrary cone. It's like the MOA of your gun getting worse over the span of like 100 bullets. Which, I mean, your MOA of your gun will get worse over time, don't get me wrong, as you shoot it out, but like not that aggressively. And they have added in things like kick now. You can see like the guns recoil a bit, but it doesn't feel like all that attached, right? Like, and that's the biggest critique of a lot of different things in the game, right? Is that like they have these individualistic, stylized areas, but none of them play with each other. In my perfect world, Maru, I wouldn't say like what I want is a feeling as opposed to just like, this is coming from someone who did Counter-Strike, right? I know memory patterns, right, of the AK and shit like that, like, and M4s and all that good. Like, those are ingrained into my fucking soul at this point. But at the same time, I don't really want to enforce that on anyone else. I don't want anyone to like memorize a fucking spray pattern like Rust. This is not the type of game for that, right? I want the gunplay to evoke a feeling, right? Like, so, like when I'm shooting an AK, right? Let's say it goes up to the left. I want to see it go up to the left so I can pull it down, right? Like I want the feeling of like it moving in a certain direction and me controlling it. And I want to feel like if it's like jumping around a lot, right? If it's like, if it's camera recoil or gun recoil too, right? Like I want to feel the gun's movements and be able to control that ever so lightly, right? Like I pick up an AK and I know it moves up and to the left. And like that's the feeling that it should have, right? Not literally, but in this design, right? And then like I can compensate for that to like with certain attachments, right? Say for example, I get an attachment that moves the recoil over to the right a little bit more, so it's more centralized recoil. Or for example, it might dampen the recoil a bit. Or for example, if you really wanted to provide some agency to players, you might give the attachments that might actually add some recoil compensation or some dampening, right? Where they actually just reduces the recoil overall for a more linear experience. And then you have things like stability too, right? Like, so you have recoil and accuracy, but then you have stability, right? Of like how much your gun jumps around, like how well you can control the actual recoil of the gun as opposed to how it moves. Like there's, right now, like I'm not saying the gunplay is bad, it's serviceable, but it's not interesting. It doesn't have any depth to it. And like them spending time making more guns and more attachments when all they do in service of it is just play a game of dress up doesn't feel like an appropriate time sink to me. I would rather those artists make more props, make more assets for the game itself, as opposed to waste time making attachments for guns that already feel bad or already feel the same. And like, if the goal of the game is to play dress up, sure, whatever. But like, that's not for me then. I don't find that interesting. I do think like gunplay is one of those foundational systems where it is important. Now, weirdly enough, this game is supposed to be an anti-shooter. So it's supposed to make guns like not your primary way of dealing with problems, or it's not supposed to be like your main avenue for like playing the game. It's supposed to be disincentivized, but still an option. Right now, the game is fully contextualized through gunplay, or like how to using your guns to do certain things in the map. So like your only avenue to solve most problems in the game is shooting things. And so the gunplay has to be important in that context. If we had this type of gunplay, I still wouldn't find it interesting, but if it was like the game was focused less on the gunplay and other things, like scavenging or stealth, like I would be much more okay with very mediocre gunplay. But at the current moment, all problems are solved with shooting things. Another one, make them stop. Another hotfix. I'm looking at my phone right now. Missed collision on the new map. Just some issues with assets that didn't appear to load. Quest antenna. Okay, quest antenna. The antennas have been fixed to basically make more interactable. Minor difference. Yeah, just made various Los Angeles fixes essentially. They fixed the issue where if you got knocked down, sometimes your camera would be fucked, which is nice. Fix an issue where, okay, they fixed their left arm issue and the map, like, it would say, occasionally the left arm of the mech would, like, be stuck in, like, a posture, and the mech would move around the arm, and it looked really, really fucking funny. Fix an issue and player inventory wouldn't always correct the, wait. Okay, so they fixed inventory numbering issues. Fix areas in the Nash Mesa where players can sometimes get stuck in geometry, so they fixed some stuck areas in Mesa. And they fixed the area, or they fixed tac cams. Okay, so apparently tac cams were not supposed to show you the entire map. And apparently they fixed that. So, like, they've done a fix where tac cams are no longer infinite range. Just a sound for triggers for organized shield officer. Updated some of the weapon improvements, portraits to be clear, have correct lighting. Fixed issue with gun vendor models in the innards to prevent stretched verts, okay. So just fixes. Alright, yeah. Reintroduce T-pose Baghdad. Didn't your frame drop? I mean, like in game or like right now on stream? It has gone down. So like it got as high as like 7.8%, and now it's dropped to 6%. So it like the stream has gotten better over time. So it's probably just like a temporary hiccup, which yeah, pretty fucking bog standard. 100% as, but like that's kind of one of the core critiques of the game, by the way, is like will be like it's all style, no substance, and that kind of like echoes that, right? I wouldn't say it's all style, more I wouldn't say it's all style, no substance, but the problem with the substance, right, is like none of the substance is connected together, right? That's the issues at hand here. Like it all feels so very siloed. Like none of the systems feel like they play together. I guess we'll stick to rifles, I guess. SMG too, maybe? Vector? Vector's very good, Ashi. We could try the new Vector shit. Actually, let's do that. So, okay, alright, I've seen this rhetoric way too much. And I love being a curmudgeon about this. So I'm gonna be a curmudgeon about this. For everyone who says this is a suppressor on a suppressor, you are wrong. This is not a suppressor. It's a barrel shroud. It's a barrel shroud because the vector they made, the vector they modeled in game, is based off a civilian vector where there is a tactical barrel shroud over a SBR compliant 16-inch barrel for the vector. See you, Delta. So like, yes, it does look weird. I'm not saying it doesn't look weird, but for everyone saying that there's a suppressor already on it and it's integrated, you're fucking wrong. Stop being wrong on the internet. Like, if you're gonna fucking push this narrative, at least do some goddamn fucking research. If your complaint is why they use like a civilian model for their game, I'm 100% on board with you. I wholeheartedly agree. So many funny words. But apparently, like, they made a new handguard, I think, for this, that apparently is, like, not aligned properly, so people are tweaking. I will say, too, like, they don't need to do a melee system, but, like, having a melee attack for bandits would be cool. It's so fucking true, Viz. Not even that, too, is people just aren't willing to, like, accept that they're wrong sometimes. I'm wrong all the fucking time. I'm okay with that. It's okay to be wrong. Just like, this is a great learning opportunity for all the Rat King enjoyers in chat. It's okay to be wrong right now. I will forgive you in the future when you realize that Rat King is not your deity. Rat King is a false idol. Oh god, that shake. What is that shake? The Vector is supposed to be like a no recoil gun. What is this? What is going on? Why is this? Why is this the one gun that's got insane recoil? Is the one gun that shouldn't probably have it? For those unfamiliar, the Vector, like the reason why the Vector looks the way Vector is supposed to look like is because they did mechanical engineering stuff inside the receiver of the gun to essentially redirect the recoil downward. And essentially, like, the gun is, oh god, oh god, oh god. The gun does have recoil. I'm not saying it doesn't have any, but like, it's supposed to like be a very controllable gun.
Death dance time.
God, that fucking hurt. Stop fucking shooting me, you goddamn drone of this building. You're not supposed to be in there. Stop it. Get out of the ceiling.
We brought all this gun.
Rod, get out. Get out of the subway now. Leave me alone. Wait, there's a helicopter here? And it was descending? It's probably gone now, hold on. What the? Leave me alone.
You brought everyone.
Wait. There was a chopper here. It's right there, you can see it, holy shit. It's right there. It's just in the fucking wall. Man, I imagine, considering how buggy choppers have been for the longest time, whoever's had the privilege of working on them is gonna be losing their fucking mind. Like, they're probably screaming at this damn chopper, like, why won't you just behave? Why won't you just do what I want you to do? Alright, time to blow up some antennas. Oh, chopper of the wall. You silly little goose. Yeah, exactly. Why won't you just be normal? Meanwhile, chopper on the wall. I feel safe here.
We brought all this gun for you.
Alright, drop you. That's 2. We just need to find one more explosive. Yeah, I think this is my first time actually seeing the chopper, but like, seeing that the chopper's stuck in the wall definitely makes me think that it's probably been here before, I've just missed it. Or like, it's been in the wall or the floor. That mech is very enthralled with it though, I will say. I get this, I want to walk under the mech, but I have this weird feeling it's gonna like automatically trigger a stomp attack. And I'm kind of scared. No? We're good? Nice.
There's a ton of them.
Its aggrometer was going up real quick though, I will say. And it was, I don't think it liked that. Also, I would just like to say too, hold on. As I, wait, the last one's over here. Over the medium mech, I think. There we go.
Shit ton of action down there. We should have waited.
Alright, that's the last one. I wonder if their guns still have collision. Also, yeah. Wait, can I just use this to get up here? That's cool. Oh, look how cool that is. Stop shooting me. You're being rude. Thank you. Look, this is emergent gameplay right here. I jump on the mech scar, and I use the scar to get on the railing above. Emergent. Viz, I want to say though, that is the only part of the mech that actually has collision you can walk on. The rest will just bounce you off. So don't try this at home. Also, I do just want to make this note also that I really just do not feel like that's the pilot location. I get the idea, hahaha, cockpit. But like, look how exposed this is to like RPGs and like infantry on the ground.
Rush 'em to death.
And like even from the front too over here. Just like, if it's just, wouldn't you rather be in this like guarded canopy in the center where your arms and your gun and everything else is covering it? Or would you rather just be in the mean cockpit where it's just exposed to just gunfire everywhere? It's so thoroughly exposed. It's such a bad location. An entrance is something fun, but I've had plenty of people tell me that like that's what the pilot is because it's called the cockpit in the game code. But like, they're just memeing, right? It's called the cockpit because it's funny, not because it's where the pilot actually is. Because it's such a bad pilot location.
I've been waiting for this.
I mean, I get you on that point, but like, you wouldn't need to be like at the very tippy top of the torso. No, they have pilots. Europa leans much more on having pilots plus like VIs or AI as opposed to just like, you know, artificially controlled mechs. But even like the mechs for Europa too, like the mech is the pilot probably. I don't think there's any actually definitive canon, Viz. Toothy is AI. Toothy is an exception, but the Europa medium mechs, it kind of gives the vibe that the pilot is like the mech. But Toothy is the AI one, yeah.
Rush 'em to dust.
Toothy is Euruscan, correct. Right, he's like Euruscan Eurasian. It's like, it's kind of hard sometimes because sometimes they like blend. The two factions do. They kind of like work in tandem sometimes. Like apparently Mother Courage was like a gift from like Eurusca to Eurasia, but it uses Eurasia tech. So like it's like Euruscan design, but like it's Eurasian tech. Like there's like these weird like kind of overlaps with those two factions.
I've been waiting for this.
Scav Girl is very feral. I mean, we almost died the start to a grenade launcher. It was very brutal. I wouldn't be surprised if yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she's organic in some capacity, yeah. I mean, actually, I will say though, like, when I see Yoruska, I think of like a lot more like biopunky sort of stuff, like biology and like punk technology, like plus dystopian. I'm not sure how much of that is just me wanting that to be true as opposed to actually true though. Like, to me, the idea of like having the sci-fi tech faction of Eurasia, having the biopunk faction of Yoruska, and having like the straight man faction of like conventional military, like just big guns of Europa makes a lot of sense to me, right? But considering Yoruska and Eurasia are very much like hand in hand, I'm not sure how much of like that's true, and just that Yoruska is just not like a little bit more bio-y than Eurasia, and not like full biopunk.
I've been waiting for this.
Like, I'm kind of curious, like, how much manipulation biology-wise does Yoruska actually do, if any?
Not a bad
Yeah, they're very
deal.
organic shaped, but is that them just, like, making their tech in the shape of organics? Or actually does that imply, like, the biology underneath? And I want that to be true. Like, I really would, like, love to see a more biopunky sort of faction. But I'm not sure how much that's true. Sneak attack from the sky. I am the chopper. All right. I think we're good here.
Bad luck today.
I said we're good here. Stop spawning. Yeah, I mean, like, personally for me, I always thought the Orgamex were like more like engrams slash like copies of people. But considering the Shield Officer and like Lourdes's quest now, it does kind of point against that whole like ideology of just like, yeah, they're kind of just diesel punk space marines.
By the skin of our teeth.
I mean, like Eurasia to me is just like kind of, or Yoruska feels to me like, yeah, just like a, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I'm not really sure where they land anymore. With like, yeah, with Meat Man and like all of their officers, they seem to be like a very superhuman sort of like, or like, you know, like space marine sort of faction almost, weirdly enough. All right, nighttime stairway, calling it. Oh, we can rock. Pistol? This is probably a mistake, but why not? Perfect loadout. Nighttime stairway. Yeah, I mean, like, me seeing a lot more of the units now, though, too, definitely kind of leans me against my original thought, right? Because I was always thinking, like, more biopunky units, or, like, you know, a lot more of, like, kind of, like, abominations, or, like, basically, like, engineered biology.
Don't leave anything on the cutting room floor.
And it seems more of just, like, you know, dystopian space marine slash diesel punk sort of vibes. Between Kolkata and then Orgamex and the Shield Officer and all that stuff. Hold on, reloading.
I'm the epitome of stealth. All right, we had sniper and radio command. Radio command's usually over here.
Looks like we rolled some dice.
Up we go. I'm not sure if we need more auto shotguns. We have so many. What am I hearing right now? Just some mech freaking the fuck out? Probably.
Looks like we rolled some dice.
Alright, yeah, here it is, there, perfect. Intel transmitted. I'm gonna go murder a sniper. Don't shoot me. I said no, no, stop it. Stop it. I'm so fast they can't hit me. I'm too fast for them. Serpentine, serpentine. Alright, sniper, are you here? No, 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 no. Okay, thank God. That guy just survived buckshot to the fucking face. There was a real danger with the removal of iframes there that he double taps me before I can kill him. Up we go. Mech? Rat King or Mech? Rat King or Mech? Alright, not Rat King. Sad days. The one time I would love to have seen Rat King, he doesn't show up. Sounds like a false idol to me.
You're gonna have to try hard for that. Enemy contact.
Wee, don't come back. Oh, just take cigarettes, god damn it.
Just what I always wanted.
I mean, I was gonna believe in Rat King if he actually showed up and answered my prayers once, but no. It was a medium mech instead. Though, to be fair, it could have been Rat King, but he just took off his mask and turned back to a Europa medium mech because of the psyop. Why would I ever pray to a god that doesn't answer my prayers? Answer me that, blood panda. You silly geese. but he doesn't answer my prayers, so I don't pray to him. Rat King was always killable. The only thing that might have changed that is the new medium mech update to Europa, because he's a Europa medium mech. It's the only thing that might have changed something. Why would I ever pray to that when I could just pet the dog instead?
Best day ever.
All right. So everyone, we need to have a chat before we call it for the day. Clearly, we have not done a good enough job complaining to Fundog about why Gunhead cannot pet the dog. So clearly there's either two things. One, they're so busy they can't do an animation. B, they B, they think that Gunhead wouldn't pet the dog if Gunhead could pet the dog, or C, they don't care. And we can fix all of those by complaining. So you know what to do. We don't need to complain. Gunplay, not important. Progression, not important. Gunhead getting animation pet the dog, so thoroughly important. This is unplayable. That Gunhead kid, like, it'd be one thing if it was a real dog, or like a non-og dog, but this dog is very clearly robotic in some capacity. Like, look at its skin. It's got something going on. So you know what to do. Get to the Steam discussions, Steam forums, Discord. Make them pet the dog. Anyway, that's it for everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on Monday. I might stream this weekend as like a test stream to figure out to see if the alternate solution works. I'll be playing around a bit more to see if I can get a stable stream going. It's just gonna be hit or miss, I think. But anyway, have a good weekend, everyone. Take it easy. New video in the works. Hopefully, when I get the script out, it will be out very shortly after that. But it'll be what it will be. Other than that, have a good weekend. I will see you guys all later. Bye.